In question 3, you need to compile an audit report including audit plan and checklist for the HSC organization of your choice. So the audit plan and checklist are to be included with the audit report. As you know, in the notes and guidance that I have given you, I have asked you to refer to the templates for the audit plan and the checklist and the sample audit report. And as you know, I have made these available for you so that you know where you can start off. The internal audit plan is basically a plan of your day or days in which you're going to carry out your internal audit. Now, in the current coronavirus circumstances, you will probably not be going there, although you might. It could be that you set up online meetings through Zoom or Skype, but you still need to lay down the plan on how you basically intend to carry out your internal audit. This is just a plan, as the name says. So it doesn't mean that you need to stick to it in its entirety, but you need to plan accordingly and work according to the plan. Okay, and you fill in obviously where there is X and Y, Z. You change these depending on the area or problem issue that has been identified, and then depending on the area or areas, such as topics, then you have the checklist. The checklist is a list which you check off. Okay, like when you have a to-do list and you check off whatever you do, of questions. It's a list of questions related to the topic. So for example, if you, together with the manager, decide that this is going to be topic 1, the organization in general, topic 2, for example, it could be admission policy and procedure, and so on and so forth. Depending on the topic, you're going to come up with questions which you need to ask. This you do before you even have the meeting, or before you even go there to observe. Okay, so chronologically, it will be like this. You set up a call or an email or a meeting with the manager. You ask for permission because you'd like to do this quality audit. You state clearly that this is part of your studies, and you could trade off, so to say, in order to create an incentive for them to accept you. You could offer them that you can give them the official observations and the recommendations of the report after you would have finished it. So basically give them a copy of the assignment, that part of the assignment. They stand to gain from this offer in the sense that they're going to have a quality audit done for free by a student, and they're going to receive feedback of things that they can implement, being your quality recommendations. Okay. Then after setting up and agreeing that they're going to accept you, you discuss what areas they would like to tackle. You could have 2 or 3. So these areas are the topics, okay, here listed in the checklist. And after agreeing on these topics, then you need to go back and do your research. So in order to define the criteria, which is stage 2 of the quality audit life cycle. And after you do your research and your homework, then you do the quality audit. So they could also give you by email, given the current coronavirus circumstances, a copy of their policies or procedures. You need to discuss this with them. However, you need to be in a position where you audit whatever they are doing, be it the policy, be it the procedure, whatever you discuss with them and whatever you agree with them. Given those topics, you come up with the questions, as I said, before you carry out the audit, and then when you go to the audit, either physically or online, you ask the questions or you have these mental notes of things you need to observe, and then after that, it will be another stage whereby after noticing and observing and discussing what they have, what they are doing, you will be in a position to carry out stage 4, that is comparing the data collection with the standards. Okay, so choosing the data, choosing the standards and criteria, stage 2, you do before you actually carry out the audit. And then stage 3, you do it when you're actually carrying out the audit. Then stage 4 takes place after you carry out the audit, whereby you are comparing what is actually happening, the data collection, with what should be happening. That is stage 2. That is what is laid out by the standards and criteria. and then you write your report. And I'm going to refer to the report. So this is a sample report. You don't need to use actually this particular document. You don't need to use boxes. Make sure that you lay it out, that the layout is clear and interesting for someone to read. This is the audit report, and you have an introduction, the assessment standards that were used, that is what you chose in stage 2, summary and conclusions, like an abstract of a thesis, the areas covered, you're going to have 2 to 3 topics here, okay, or areas, and then the findings, observations, and recommendations. So with regards, for example, in this case, to documentation record management system, they chose this as an area or topic. You write down very, very, very briefly. So this is not an essay competition. As you see here, procedure, whatever was reviewed, all steps are completed, traceable documentation, no deficiencies were found. Keep it up, kind of. Over here, there is one observation and its corresponding recommendation. The logbook is available for activities, but the data about whatever are not recorded. So the recommendation would be all activities performed should be recorded. Okay, and these should be corresponding in number. Observation 1, recommendation 1, and so on and so forth. Now, if you go to another area, like this, you have observation 2, recommendation 2, because this is like a number plate or an ID number of the observations and recommendations. So whatever you observe, if you feel that it should be recorded, because you're going to observe many things, if you have a clear observation, make sure you write observation 1. And then the recommendation will come out of it. If it's something that they can improve, you will recommend that they improve it. You could have more than one observation and recommendation in the same area, obviously. So over here, you could have observation 2 and recommendation 2, observation 3 and recommendation 3, all in this documentation and record management system topic or area. Okay, so feel free. You know what you are observing. You know what you should recommend, because you are seeing and you are carrying out the audit. You could have 2 recommendations for 1 observation, okay, because you split the recommendation in 2. In that case, it's very simple. You have observation 1 with recommendation 1.1 and recommendation 1.2, okay? And you go on so on and so forth with the 2 or 3 topics or areas that you choose. You need to have a number of observations and recommendations because, as you see in the next part, you need to come up with the risk management model. You need to apply it, and you need to have the creation of strategies for recommendations of quality improvement. Okay? And at the end, you have a reviewed documents list, which is like bibliography in your normal assignment. So that is it, basically, with the question 3, SC1. In that way, you would have compiled an audit report, which includes the audit plan and the checklist for the organization of your choice. Okay, and using the templates provided by the lecture.